that means you've got to go hard and you've got to start thinking about, what is it about my finances? What do I understand about my money? Start to work out, how much money you have coming in, how much money you have going out. Do you spend more than you have coming in? Okay. Hi guys, me again. I'm Sophia, the 1 in 1.3. Welcome to the family. In this video, I'm going to be talking to you about how to save money using the Dave Ramsey plan, especially as a single mother. So money is one of my favourite topics to talk about because I quite like thinking about money and thinking about my relationship with money and thinking about how I can make more money and thinking about how I use my money, if I'm spending it carefully or using it wisely, and what my children are seeing in terms of my relationship with money. So I've read a lot of books about money over the years. I've kind of just gone to my bookshelf and grabbed some of the books that I've used in the past. Basically, some of them I haven't read for a long time. So this one over here, Rich Dad Poor Dad, that's quite a good book based on money. But in the video today, I'm talking about the Dave Ramsey style, and I think these two have slightly different views about how to save money, how to build wealth. But they're both still. This book is a very good book. Tiago has read this book before, so if you check his video over there, you can see his review of the Rich Dad Poor Dad books. So this book is quite nice to see how, the relationship that people have with money, and it shows you the ways that he makes money. But that's not what I'm really focusing on today in this video. Another one I bought was Rich Kids, How to Raise Our Children to Be Happy and Successful in Life. And this book I've read I've read this one through as well. I think I've highlighted it as well. I haven't really highlighted it, but I've kind of underlined, you see that underlinings there, of things in the book that I liked. Again, I just wanted to kind of see a different perspective, to see like how rich people live and what is it that they teach their children, to see if there's anything that I might have been doing wrong with my own children. So again, that was quite a good book that I read. This one I got after watching this rabbi, Daniel Lapin, online, but I haven't used any of the principles in this book yet. So this is one that I probably need to read to find out if I'd recommend it or not. But it's obviously got biblical principles, and that's what drew me to the book. But it's not from a Christian perspective, someone like a Judeo, I think it's a Jewish point of view. I believe he's Jewish, but I'll have to double check that. He's a rabbi, so yeah, I guess he is. Then another one I got is this one. This one is The 7 Habits of Highly Effective Teens, and it's by Sean Covey. And basically this book, I wanted again to see if there's anything that I could be teaching my children that I wasn't teaching them already. Maybe there's some bad habits that they were forming that I was kind of change within them. So this book kind of helped me to kind of really think about some of the things that we were doing within our household and things that I could change while I still had the time with my children. Very practical. This book's got pictures and it's got different examples of things that you can do within your household to build healthy habits within your children. Again, quite a good book. I use some of the principles within our household at certain points within the years. I've got this book over here. This one is part of our ACE curriculum, the curriculum that we follow. It's an elective. So Enrique's my oldest boy, he chose to do business studies for his ICCEs, and he had to do a unit on this one, Business for the Glory of God. And he also had to write an essay, I can't remember how many words it was, but he had to write an essay about money. And this book's a really good book. We are a Christian family. We believe in the Bible and the Bible principles. I've used biblical principles in my life and it definitely works. So I quite like this book, and obviously it has a spiritual aspect in there as well, which I liked. Where it gives scriptures based on money. There's one in here by James 5:4 which says, "Behold, the wages of the labourers who moved your fields, which you kept back by fraud, are crying out against you, and the cries of the harvesters have reached the ears of the Lord of hosts." Ooh. So it deals with things like employees and stories from the Bible. Proverbs 18:9 that deals with laziness, jealousy, bitterness, things like that. So it deals with many biblical principles. I think this one I'd highly recommend you read. Especially for Christians out there that want to kind of think how they can use their business for the glory of God. Okay, so moving on to this video. This video is about the Baby Step method, written by Dave Ramsey. So there's 2 books here. I've got both of them. So I've got the Total Money Makeover, this book. This is the one. And then I've also got the Total Money Makeover workbook as well. And again, I've highlighted things in here. You can see that I just like to show you this to show that I have actually used these books. They have like a budget plan on there. I've put like some numbers in there. It's lots of quiz-based stuff. So at the beginning of the book, there's lots of things in here based on like quizzes to kind of like ask you to really think about the way that you handle money, to get your mind thinking about your relationship with money and reminding you of some of the things that our grandparents used to say when they say things like save for a rainy day. It reminds you of those sort of things there to try to get you to figure out whether or not you're in debt or not. We live in a culture where we want things now, we buy things on credit cards, we buy things, we go into our overdraft, we try to get things without even realizing that actually we haven't actually got the money for it. You have you have your mortgages, you have maybe a really nice car, you're paying money on finance each month to get that really decent car, whatever. And actually some of those people, they have many debts behind them, but obviously they're paying the debts off each month, so it doesn't really bother them in any way. But you have to kind of realize whether or not it's a debt or not a debt. And this book really helps you to kind of really see for yourself, like even if you're trying to keep up with the Joneses or not, it shows you, are you in debt or are you not in debt? And there's also a kids version as well. Dave Ramsey, Smart Money, Smart Kids. So so for the rest of the video, I'm just going to tell you about the baby steps with the Dave Ramsey plan. I did the Dave Ramsey plan before in my marriage. When I first got married, my ex-husband brought a lot of debt into the marriage. It was absolutely crazy. And I'm not someone that deals well with debt, so that kind of caused a little bit of issues. But I just felt as though while I was in the marriage, I wanted to kind of get us both out of debt. So I worked really hard to do all I could to kind of get myself back on track. Obviously the wedding costs money as well in terms of my wedding dress, which my beautiful wedding dress. It was, how much did I pay for that? I paid $1,000. I think it was $1,300 for my wedding dress. I love that dress. Oh, this is so pretty. I knew it, when I stepped into this one, I was like, no, this is it. This is the one. I know, she just stepped into it. I've got rid of it now, I gave it to somebody else. I gave it to her for free, in fact. But I paid a lot of money for the wedding dress, obviously paid a lot of money for the wedding and, things like that. So I didn't want to get myself into debt. We did do a lot of it underneath a budget, but I still kind of put myself into debt. Within the Caribbean community, we have something called the partner. And I've been the banker of a partner before. So what would happen was I could say, we're going to have a partner that runs for £1,000 for each person, basically. And what that means is, everybody that puts money into the partner, they're going to get £1,000 back. So you can put £100 into the partner every single month, and then you take your draw at a certain point. So if everyone's paying £100 a month, that means there's £1,000 every month to give to somebody within the partner. So I've done that before, and prior to COVID, I did 2 partners, and I felt like it was nice for the immediate funds that I had. It's also nice when you want to save money for a holiday. But I think if you're doing the partner, I think the last draw is a better draw to have rather than taking the first draw. Because if you take the first draw, that means you're kind of owing money each month. You're owing money anyway because you have to put money within the partner. But I felt as though it wasn't a good thing for me towards the end. I felt like it was just really hurting each month trying to pay that money when I had loads of debt still to pay. Obviously took my £1,000 for the partner, and then was always trying to make sure that the bank was, as a banker, you're trying to make sure that everyone gets their £1,000. But I felt the pressure of being a banker for the partner didn't quite work for me. But it does work for many people, and if you're involved in partners, it's worked for you successfully over all the years, then fair enough. It was a very good thing that many people did that around the Windrush generation time, where Caribbean people came to the UK. It helped them to kind of buy their houses and things like that. So it's a really good method. But for me, I've kind of paused on that for the time being, and I'm using this Dave Ramsey method. So I got to baby step 3B at one point, and I literally got there in 2020, April the 8th. What happened, guys? COVID hit. So when I finally got to the point of saying, okay, yeah, I finally reached, I paid off my snowball, got to that section there, COVID hit. I'm a teacher, I'm not even a teacher, I'm a tutor, I work from home. Everything that I earn from my business is what I use within my household to pay for my rent, to pay for my council tax, to help my children with their learning, to pay for their curriculum. So if I don't work, we don't get paid, and it's really tricky. I have to try and find other ways of making money. I want my children to see that I'm a working parent, so I try to work as much as I can to get that money for myself. So I find it quite hard when I'm low on money. I like to have lots of savings there that can help me to get by. That's why even doing the house, I've just literally got the house done. I'm going to have a video coming out on Friday. I've got a house done. It was quite hard for me to let go of that money to pay for the house. But now that I've done the house, I feel really happy that the house is done. Sorry, the video's getting really long. So I kind of want to go back to the Dave Ramsey method, because I feel as though I'm kind of back on the steps again. I'm not on baby step 3 anymore. I think I'm kind of back on baby step 0, to tell the truth. I'm being really open and honest about my finances. So I need to kind of build up my emergency fund again for £1,000. I had an emergency fund, but I had an emergency. Guess what happened? Bailey decided to eat a sock the sock got stuck within him. He was vomiting and had diarrhea. When I took him to the vet, I found that my pet insurance had run out for him, and it cost £700 for him to go to a hospital. He had to go to emergency hospital, get a scan. They had to pump to try and get the sock out. They managed to pull the sock out his back passage. Otherwise, if they had to operate on him, it would have been a lot more money. So a lot of money So yes, I'm starting back my